Time's up. Let's do this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. BlizzCon Community Qualifier for the Philippines is live right now, and we will be bringing you a next game between Beefsteak as well as AkisS. These two are currently the front runners for this tournament. They are kind of on top of this entire Swiss table, this big 65-man Swiss table for the Philippines. It's pretty good stuff. That said, you're joined today by Babael, that's me, as well as Katips. I hope you enjoyed this cast, and do let us know of ways to improve.
Yep, good afternoon everybody. This is Katips coming to you from Manila, Philippines, sunny Philippines. Thank you for joining us this Saturday for the Philippine qualifiers. Of course, I'm excited. These are my countrymen playing. And up next now we have Beefsteak versus AkisS. And just to recap their standings, AkisS is undefeated in this tournament so far with a 3-0. Beefsteak also a 3-0. They are at the top of the charts right now. AkisS slightly favored with his tiebreak score, and we are going right into their first game. It's going to be a new next Zulok versus Paladin. So, what do you think about this matchup, Babael, before I talk about Paladin?
Well, I actually kind of like the new Zulok a little bit better than the Paladin there. But that said, it's no surprise whatsoever that the Paladin's making a bit of a comeback. I actually kind of like that as well, because Paladin's one of the most, underrated classes in pre-Next Ramas. But now that it's out, you can see a lot of good synergy there, especially with this unstable ghoul. It's potentially another board clear mechanic here for Paladin with equality as well. And that's something that really is just gonna work in favor for Paladin. They used to have good bot clear mechanic with equality, consecrate, equality, wild pyro, but now they have even more, and that's just gonna help them, milk on whatever advantage that the class can offer to the player. And also we're seeing a Stampeding Kodo, which is one of the finest creations of combo in a Paladin deck with the Eldor Peacekeeper as well.
That's right. And I wanted to talk about Paladin real quick because Reels from the Mana Grind team just wrecked pretty much the second round of the VGVN tournament that came out recently. He went 8-1 with his new Naxxramas control Paladin. So I'm quite excited. I started out Hearthstone with Paladin, and it's really happy for me. I mean, I'm really happy to see Paladin making a comeback now with the new Nax meta. That said, Zoo is Zoo, and it is Zoo for a reason. It is strong for a reason. It is wrecking everything for a reason. And Beefsteak opening up with Zoo, as we talked about from last week's Malaysian qualifiers, it is a great deck to open up with because it's consistent, it's strong, and it snowballs into a really nice position for Zoo towards the mid game. And if most decks are not able to keep up with it, then it's just going to snowball into a win pretty much.
Yeah, it will. And that's it. Now we're looking at Beefsteak with pretty good minions on the board. It's a weaponized Nerubinic, and I like to call it that because it really cancels the possibility of a consecration here for AkisS. He does have 2 consecration, 1 Wild Pyromancer and 1 Doomsayer. He's gonna play Doomsayer, he's gonna try and finish up this entire round, but it's pretty interesting seeing him play that, because that's only gonna make the 8 come out as a Nerubin 4-4. But it does stop the Zoo a fair bit, and it's really more towards the you can say philosophy of playing a Doomsayer is that your opponent will not play any minion this turn unless they have Death Rattle that can probably spawn something else, and that's exactly what Beefsteak has. He's got a shit ton of Death Rattle there.
Yep, that's right. So AkisS is not going to get much value from the Doomsayer, but he does have those 2 Consecrates, as he said, in his hand, and those are going to be if AkisS can
top deck equality.
Oh wow, so if AkisS can just time the proper timing of these Consecrates and Equality and Wild Pyromancer, so he has a few options at his disposal. He can go Equality into Wild Pyromancer, he can go Equality into Consecrate, the classic combo. It's going to be crucial whether or not he can just stop the Zoo flat and steamroll his way into the end game, where he can put up Sunwalkers, he can put up Sludge Belchers, and he can maybe finish up with a Tyrion towards the end game. So right now, it's going to be a balancing act between Beefsteak trying to put out as many minions as much as possible, trying to roll and snowball his damage as a Zoo deck, and AkisS trying to maintain his defense until he can get to the end game, until he can get a lot of value from his board clear.
Yeah, it's crazy. Meanwhile, I think we have some connection issues here with AkisS' hand, and we're going to see what we can do to try and get it back.
Oh, can we just mention also, is AkisS is playing the Paladin and Beefsteak is playing the Warlock, just as a recap.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Alright, so the top board is filled by the Paladin, and the bottom board is being filled by the Beefsteak. Warlock. And also, AkisS seemed to have disconnected from the game. Rope's coming out here. Still no moves whatsoever. Team viewer is down for him. I think he is disconnected as well from TeamSpeak. This is not looking good at all for AkisS. It could be a global shutdown. It could be his computer restarted. It could be over before it began. And my god, both of them at 3-0. This is not where you want to be. As you can see, Beefsteak still going to continue the onslaught here. No mercy whatsoever for AkisS. He's not going to pass the turn. He's going to play Harvest Golem. And it's back to AkisS. The rope is going to come out soon. Unless he comes back here into this game. Oh wow, this is a global disconnection. He is out from TeamSpeak, which is the platform we're using to host this tournament. He's also out from TeamViewer, which is the software we're using to capture his desktop. You guys can try it. It's a really relatively friendly software. Pretty good, except when the connection is bad, then it's bad. But that's not his fault. It's more like your connection's fault. Anyway. Beefsteak here is just AFKing, and AkisS is still not back. I'm expecting him to check in on TeamSpeak first before anything else. We can much expect this game to go towards Beefsteak at this point in time. And this is such a waste. He's got like what? Equality, Consecration, Wall Pyromancer, and his also got disconnected. So I guess it doesn't matter at the end.
AkisS is facing the hardest opponent that he can be facing in the Philippines, and that's lag and our ISP. So.
Okay, he's gone. As you can see, the hand's now black. That's actually my desktop. Yes, I have a black desktop. It used to be green though, but I decided to change it black.
Yep.
Just so it looks nicer on this overlay. Yeah, since I'm not doing much. Oh, and we have a new subscriber, Chong FR. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for succumbing to peer pressure. You're my best friend. That's it. Beefsteak now. Rope again coming out. AkisS still not back. It could be his mom. She might have pulled the plug. You're not having lunch. Pull plug. Lunch now. Oh god.
Oh no. So unless Beefsteak agrees to a rematch, this is gonna be. He's gonna take this win. Unfortunately, despite AkisS's awesome hand, lots of removals, perfect against the zoo. This is unfortunate, but it is part of the game. I mean. None of our connections are perfect, even if they're good some days. These kinds of things happen. So let's see how this is going to play out. So we're trying to get a hold of AkisS again. See if Beefsteak is going to be willing to do a rematch or take this game. But
yeah. Pretty much okay, he's back in the TeamSpeak chat. I think he disconnected.
Yeah.
Can you reconnect to the game? I'm gonna ask him if he can reconnect, and
it's not looking good for him though. He's about to get roped out.
Yeah. Oh, he canceled the challenge. I think he's online again. We'll see what we can do here. Oops. Meanwhile, I'm actually gonna try and pull this screen off while the onslaught is going on. The battery is still happening here. I'm actually gonna try and change screens a little bit. I think it's actually game here, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's game. It's over.
Yeah, so Beefsteak is gonna take that. I wonder. We'll see if we're gonna restart that game. I don't know if
he's gonna say no to remake with a 60 viewer count. Is he gonna say no remake?
No remake.
Oh god.
Uh-oh. A moment of truth. Is Beefsteak gonna be
he's just asking, can we remake?
Thinking about it. Thinking about his next play.
He is thinking about it. He's about to put up a frown. Say sorry. Just continue. Oh my god. He's still not out of this series. He can come back. There's still a chance for 2-1 here. He said no.
Offline hype.
Yeah, expected.
Out of game hype.
Oh god.
We're seeing the DM.
But yeah. Well, to be fair, this is the fair rule.
Yeah, it is. It is fair to the player who stayed. I mean, it is part of the ruling that a disconnect automatically counts as a loss, and it's the prerogative of the staying player whether or not he wants to do a remake. It is in his favor if he stays and your opponent disconnects. Unfortunately, you know, it happens. We try our best to be fair, and we do put it in the rules that if you get disconnected, unfortunately, that's gonna count as a loss against you.
Yeah, well, we don't really like that rule actually, but we think it's only fair because players, they can selectively disconnect and stuff like that. And in the EHL, which is I think back in February to April, we had some really important games where players disconnect, and it's actually fine to see that, you know, one of them actually is, I think, Arto. Arto versus Celador, I think. Arto knew that Celador had the win, and Celador disconnected. Arto was like, you know what, it's good, just take the win. And that's like maximum sportsmanship there. He didn't even ask for remake, he just like take the win. And they were playing for cash money. I think it's pretty good that there's high level of sportsmanship in esports for Hearthstone. But when it doesn't happen, it's still okay. I feel it's okay because it's fair, and it's a countermeasure that we created just to make sure that, you know, players don't get penalized for that.
And we do have the reconnect mechanic. If you are able to come back online in time and restart your game, there is a chance that you can reconnect. I've seen it happen. I've done it myself. Yeah, but just to be absolutely fair, just so it's plain and simple, if you get disconnected and you're not able to recover, and yeah, that's a point against you, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side, if you don't have a good connection, well, you're gonna have to try. Okay, sometimes I understand that it's network issues rather than player issue, and that's more often than not. This is the story of the Philippines. It really
unfortunately,
is. Yeah,
it is a reality we deal with. Some of our ISPs are less stellar than others. Well, a lot of our ISPs are less stellar than others. So this is something we deal with constantly. I have a lot of friends playing Hearthstone, and disconnection is a part of life. It's a part of people not getting into Legend.
What we can tell for sure now is that the whole stream is actually going to be rooting for AkisS. They're going to go like, you know what, AkisS, be the underdog and come back stronger. But we'll see. A lot of people are actually asking for for cut packs right now in the stream. The game's not over yet.
Will you be a magnanimous Babel and give them give the people?
No, I
what
will
they
not
want?
be, because demand and supply. You're gonna have to understand economics here. It's more to it's the fact that I have to maintain a balance in the system. So yeah, we're giving out free cut packs for you guys who are watching on YouTube. Unfortunately, you will not get any. But yeah, you get to watch the good VOD without much of an issue here. So yeah, that's at least some good news for you guys. Also, do note all the VODs that we have on EGTV are all on our YouTube page, not on Twitch, because we know from start that Twitch was gonna fail us. No, just kidding. Twitch was gonna Twitch VOD system is not as pristine as YouTube, and we like to have you guys not waste any time, go through music and stuff like that. So that's why we create pretty decent stuff. In fact, Twitch actually just upgraded their VOD system with the highlight stuff. So now you can create highlights, which essentially is gonna be like the main deal of this entire VOD. So yeah, we're actually pretty excited to work with that. But meanwhile, we're still gonna stick with YouTube.
So that said, we're about to set up into the second game. Beefsteak is gonna take that win, and he is gonna go. Like you said earlier, it's a little unfortunate because both players were 3-0, and this could be determining who is gonna go to the top of the top 8 rankings.
Oh, I think that AkisS is like.
Is he in Huts?
Well, I don't know. I'm actually gonna put on some. Wait, hang on. I think I'm gonna try and talk to AkisS for all. Give me a while so that I can apprise everybody of the situation right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna put on some music and I'll be back real soon. Oh. Hello, AkisS. Test. Testing. Okay, apart from that awkward hello and hello AkisS, I think we are back here. So, Beefsteak versus AkisS, he did add up the wrong opponent. He didn't think the game was... I thought he was going into, just complete SLAs there and really going to play a game with his friend and say, you know what, we're done here, guys. But no. So Beefsteak 1 game up, and AkisS will come back here with a Control Warrior. And I think Katips, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect, perfect. Alright, let's go into the game. So AkisS is going to be on the top half of this board as the Warrior. It does look like it's a Control Warrior. On the flip side, Beefsteak going to be on the bottom half of this board with the Warlock, and it's still looking like the same Zoo Warlock. So it's kind of like a free win for Beefsteak, a little unfair for AkisS, but he did disconnect there.
Yep. So we're gonna play it out, and Beefsteak, as you said, is gonna maintain with his Golden Zoo, Golden Warlock, and he's gonna go into a standard set play. He has a nice curve at the moment. If AkisS brings down maybe a turn 2 or coins into a turn 3 play, he can start buffing stuff up with a Beast of Sergeant. But at the moment, Beefsteak has now the option to go straight into his Harvest Golem and keep up the tempo. And AkisS has to start. So what do you think of the Control Warrior versus the Zoo matchup?
I actually kind of like Beefsteak's deck here. This deck is very Death Rattle reliant. I will not be surprised if there's a Bear River there inside his cut least. There's so much Death Rattle here. He's got like, the Nerubian Egg, he's got Harvest Golem, he's got also the Haunted Creepers. So I think it's a pretty good deck so far. But for AkisS' hand does look pretty good. He does have Floating Berserker, as well as the Fiery Winx that's in the hand already. He doesn't really have board clear though, that's the problem here for AkisS. He might get Brawl if he runs Brawl in his deck.
So despite Control Warrior having a lot of removals, he has very many spells. He has Shield Slam, he has Slam, he has Cruel Taskmaster. Lots of options for removal for Zoo.
God. Okay. I don't like this Knife Jug play here. I thought that silencing the 4/4 there would have been a better play, but oh well. I guess. Oh, lucky dagger though. He proved me wrong. Okay, the Knife Jug play was better.
I was about to say that the spawning Spectral Spiders are gonna have a 50-50 against this Frothing Berserker. So that was a pretty decent play. So AkisS is gonna go into his second Fiery Winx, and he now has to start thinking about removals. He should not allow a Zoo to start ramping into his Snowball, to start ramping into a lot of minions. So Beefsteak now.
Oh, Lower Thap. Yeah, he's expecting something like a Whirlwind to come out, but he doesn't know it's not in the hand of AkisS, so Lower Thap's gonna come out here, and he's still gonna go on and milk on the aggression onto AkisS. This Warlock is very aggressive because it's something that looks like a Zoo, but it's a very weird variant here. Very different with Lower Thap.
Yep. So that's pretty smart. I mean, Lower Thap is gonna stop a lot of removals.
Is that a misplay? Yeah, he should have he should have played the second Armor Smith before he ran that in, so he could get extra armor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a misplay. Okay. So now he's also going to play Cruel Taskmaster to just try and ping off one of the 1/1s there. And we're now looking at Lower Thap and a Spectral Spider.
Yeah, so now Beefsteak is a bit on the ropes. There's 2 Armor Smiths in play, means a lot of armor value on the side of AkisS if he attacks, if he decides to start clearing out the minions. But AkisS is down to 20 health effectively. And I think he should tap first. Okay, Nerubian Egg is a pretty good play. He can go into maybe Knife Juggler into Nerubian Egg, maybe Silence into Nerubian Egg. So silencing one of the Armor Smiths this early is, I think, a pretty fair play because you don't really want to get the Warrior to get a lot of value from Armor Smith and Acolyte of Pain. So those are his main card draws and his main forms of buffing himself up. By himself, I do mean Garrosh, who, by the way, has just changed time for the entire Warcraft universe. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh yeah, you just did that. So now AkisS is down to 13 health, and he gets a lucky Brawl. He gets Brawl, but is his Brawl gonna get lucky? Sorry, that's the question I wanted to ask. But alright, so here, Armor Smith, no Whirlwind, that's a huge waste. Brawl is definitely a good play here. He can change everything with just one Brawl. It just needs to make sure that he stays on top of that. He's actually going to Shield Block first. And not Brawl! Wow, okay. Whirlwind comes out. That's the top deck he's been waiting for. He's going to Shield Slam, Lower Thap for 5. He's going to kill Lower Thap. He can now Whirlwind just to kill Spectre Spider, run the 1-2 to kill off the 3-1. Okay, he's gonna get 1 armor first. I would actually kind of prefer if he didn't do that, but oh well. He's still gonna do it. And he gets 2 armor from that. He's actually up to 9, 11 armor right now. He's gonna run 2 damage there, and he's back to 24 health. We'll use fireworks to kill off the 3-2. So no brawl needed for AkisS. Good play.
Good play from AkisS, I agree. He managed to take out the entire board of Beefsteak and still maintain both Armored Smiths, which have been giving him a lot of value. But here comes the Owl now from Beefsteak. He's going to stop that nonsense right now. And he wants the Nerubian out. He's going to take that 4 damage up into the face of AkisS, looks like. And just not giving him a lot of options from the armor. But that so far is going to have to come out for the Cruel Taskmaster. So here comes the Nerubian now, 4-4 and 2-1 on the side of Beefsteak, and both Armor Smiths still in play from AkisS, with one of them silenced. And he does still have the brawl in hand, but here comes the Argent Commander now, gonna get a lot of value out of the Nerubian, and AkisS making sure to clear out the entire board of Beefsteak. That's a good position for Beefsteak. He's now gonna be forced to tap into the next few turns, just to be able to draw not the best value minions right now with Argus and Shattered Sun Cleric. Not going to be able to give their benefit to other minions. So I think tap is a good play. Wow, he's getting all of them in a row. All of the crucial gift-giving minions on his side, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, it's just crazy. Look at that. You gotta be kidding me. So here comes the 3-2. And it's raw or naked, however you kind of like to pronounce that. It's still fine. I do believe he can actually kill this off very nicely without much of any hassle there. And the 1-1's going to sacrifice. That's going to be the last armor that the Armor Smith is going to provide AkisS. And he's used up both his Armor Smith just to get up all the way to 22 health, which is still higher than that of the Warlock. Warlock has got a pretty good hand here. He's going to play the Dark Iron Dwarf. He's also going to play Defender Argus with the Argent Squire as well. So he does have a bubbled up taunt with a 5/5 taunt as well. It's pretty big, crazy stuff. Wow.
So what are the 3 cards remaining in AkisS' hand? Is this going to be a big roadblock for him, or is he going to be able to bust through? He does still have Brawl. We do know that Brawl is in play. Gromash is going to come out. And here comes Whirlwind to clear out the Divine Shield, and he's going to take out both taunt minions, Gromash.
Oh, it's going to be one hell A-bomb. Look at that, 10 damage directly. No taunt for Beefsteak. Is it going to life tap into something for taunt? He gets Leroy Jenkins. That's going to mean Gromash is dead here. Oh wow, okay, he's gonna use Leroy to trade for Gromash.
He's gonna be able to take out. He's gonna be able to take out the new Lord of the Iron Horde, but at 5 health, is that gonna be enough for him to survive? AkisS still does have that brawl. He still has the option. He still has the health. He's effectively 24 health right now.
Oh, Korkon Elite top deck. Look at that. AkisS from behind. Exactly where I want to be, but anyway. AkisS just came up there with a 1-1. So now he ties the series. He is still going strong here. It's still not over. Like I always say, you might lose the first game, but you can still come back in the series. He does have a slight disadvantage, and that's because he's going to have to play Warrior in his next round against Beefsteak. Beefsteak will have the ability here to decide what he wants to play.
Yep, so match point for each player. AkisS, I think, prematurely canceled that match. They are still going into a 3rd game to decide who is the winner. So like he said, AkisS still has a chance to take this despite losing this first match to Disconnect. And okay, so we might have, there is a question if the players can still edit their decks in the middle of the match.
Just to remind, players are not allowed to amend decks in the middle of match. Yeah, so you're not allowed to amend decks in the middle of matches, and I think AkisS wasn't aware of that. But even then, it doesn't really matter because he's going to be playing Control Warrior, right? Or he's going to be playing Warrior. He's stuck to Warrior. Yep. And that is the hot fact. And oh my god, he actually has got like, what, 9 classes, all different. So he's not prepared for this tournament, and he's going 3-0 so far.
We might have to do some reviewing of the VHS tapes. Take out the Betamax. Rewind the tapes and view the footage.
No, I think it's okay because for him, if he did violate any rules in the previous few games, his opponents would have sounded off that. But yeah, players are not allowed to amend decks in between because we know it's going to take a hell long of a time, and that could be the reason why we're going into delays today. But yeah, Alright, so it's gonna be a warrior. Same warrior, maybe a little bit different, but still definitely control warrior. Unless it's going aggro, which I don't see that. And Beefsteak's gonna be running a shaman. Wow.
I like shaman. I like
against
especially
Garrosh.
I like the new shaman. Have you seen this new shaman in action? This one that runs Baron Rivendare and Resurrection and Ancestral Healing to create, a crap ton of minions basically with Death Rattle. I've managed to produce my own 4 Sylvanuses off of a single turn. I've managed to make, there is a combo with Earth Elemental to keep bringing out so many taunts that your opponent can't deal with it. Nerubian Egg is also a good target for the Resurrection and Ancestral Healing combo. Ancestral Rebirth, I believe, is a card.
Reincarnation.
I'll double check that. Reincarnation, there you go. And yeah, I really like Shaman versus Warrior. Shaman already with a lot of efficient removals. It has the most powerful removal in the game in Hex. And a lot of defense with Feral Spirit already in the hand of Beefsteak. So let's see how AkisS deals with this early aggression now with the Nerubian Egg coming out early.
Yeah, Garrosh versus Thrall. Obviously, I root for Thrall here, but Garrosh, that's for the lore. But for Warrior, I actually kind of like Warrior a lot, but can the Warrior try and control this Shaman? That's the question here. You've got Lower Thap, you've got Rock Biter Weapon in the hand for Beefsteak, and that's looking pretty good. Argent Commander top deck as well. Looks a little standard to me. I'm not sure if it's the Baron Rivendare variation, but that's a weaponized egg, and it's going to turn into a 4/4 Nerubian right now. Chewing Yeti, so that's double 4 damage minions on the field there for Beefsteak, and that could be a bit of a trouble here for AkisS. Even if he brawls, only one's going to go away.
That's right. So 2 very high value minions on the board right now for Beefsteak. That's 4 damage apiece. And AkisS has to start putting up some sort of defense or getting some sort of removal off of these minions because they can start snowballing. If Beefsteak decides to play Feral Spirit, that's a good piece of defense on his side. Wait out turn 7 to bring out his Argent Commander or his Fire Elemental. And he still has the option, of course, for a Lightning Bolt. But he's just going to go into the combo of Shield into Slam, Okay. So that's going to drop down the Yeti to 4 and 1. That's still going to get off 4 damage. Loatheb coming out to stop any more spell nonsense from AkisS. And Beefsteak still with a pretty dominating board. AkisS is going to have to spend up a spell to get rid of the last health of Yeti. And it's going to be costly now with Loatheb on the board.
Yeah, oh my god, that's a 5/5 there with a 4/1, and no spells can be used this game, or rather this turn, because most of AkisS spells are pretty expensive to use here. No shield block whatsoever. He can, however, play the Arcanite Reaper, which is what I think he's gonna do here. He's gonna kill off Lower Thap and take up the damage. It's okay as a warrior because he can always play shield block next turn.
Yep, that's right. So shield block very efficient, and the Argent Commander, he's thinking about it. He's going to choose to play the 6/5 instead. Maybe taking into account that AkisS has spent a lot of his removals dealing with the earlier minions, dealing with the Nerubian, and trying to deal with the Yeti, who is still alive and still dominating with the board control with a 6/5 and a 4/1. So if AkisS wants to start taking off these creatures, he's going to be having to spend a lot of life or use up the last charge of his Arcanite Reaper, so he's probably going to do that now.
He definitely don't want to run into the 6/5. That, my friend, is one beefy thing. And he top decks the Execute. Well done, well played. But he's still gonna run into the Fire Elemental. Okay, that's interesting. He probably is expecting the Beefsteak to run a pretty interesting deck here with probably Ragnaros or something a little bit bigger than a 6/5, even though it's kind of rare. But 6/5, my take is it's a pretty good take. You can definitely kill it off there.
Yep, so...
Oh my god, Argent Commander, look at that. This is where you need health, you need armor, but you've got none.
Is Earth Shock worth using against the Acolyte of Pain?
Yes.
Is my question.
Against Warrior, yes, because you don't want Warrior to draw as much as possible. Yep. And Earth Shock really kills off some of the few deck mechanic that they have that helps them draw cards. So if you kill off the Acolyte of Pain. Okay, he's actually gonna go in and kill.
I don't like that play so much. Like you said, Acolyte of Pain is one of the few ways that a control warrior can draw into cards, and you really want to generally eliminate it as fast as possible. So, Armor Smiths and Acolytes of Pain are those 2 cards that you generally want to watch out when playing against control warrior because they can give unexpected value at the right times or at the wrong times for you. And I'm not sure I agree with that so much.
Okay, he can actually use Shield Slam to negate the damage coming from the Argent Commander with the Hero Power. Hero Power, Shield Slam. 3 mana cost, not expensive at all. Good play. You can also play Frothing Berserker, just give it a little extra damage, make it into a 3/4. I think that's gonna be his play here. But that said, he does blow off 1 Shield Slam on something like an Argent Commander, which he would have easily have evaded if he had, executed the biggest thing at the previous time. I'm not sure if he had enough mana though. I need to recap that. I'll watch the stream.
So let's see, is he gonna try and attempt to get into the Spell Totem so he can get more value off of his Lightning Storm, or is he gonna save it? He does have the life to stay alive a little bit longer. He's still at 29 health. He can maybe put up Feral Spirits for now and draw into a Totem. I think Totem first, see what it comes out with, to be honest.
Yeah. I think here for Beefsteak, you can play the Nerubian Egg, but generally the egg is a little more passive. You don't have much of a minion, so you don't have to worry much about ball clear mechanics. So right now, probably want to play Feral Spirit.
Yeah, this is where I think it was a waste to use Rockbiter Weapon, because if he had Rockbiter Weapon now, he could have used it to weaponize the egg to start killing something off and get the Nerubian in as a reward.
I think...
But...
Yeah, you're right. That's definitely one play. The other play here is that Nerubian Egg effectively really counters the Brawl. No matter what, you win the Brawl with the egg. The only situation you could probably lose is if the egg survives the Brawl, but even then, it's considered a win there. So it's pretty good for him. He's actually going for the Totem with the Feral Spirit and now playing the egg because it's a first stuff like Brawl. But Brawl's not going to happen here, so he needs to be very careful of what he plays next.
So AkisS also has to remember... Okay, he's gonna get an Earthshock on the Frothing Berserker. He has to remember that he can't also overcommit with the minions. Always have to be mindful that the Shaman is running Lightning Storm. That's always gonna be in every Shaman deck. So he has to figure out a way past these taunters and keeping the Lightning Storm in mind.
Okay.
What do you feel about Brawl right about now?
I think Brawling here is actually okay. Yeah.
Okay.
On hindsight, I'm gonna take what I said back and I'm gonna say Brawling is okay because he has the ability to play Kokon Elite. And the egg always wins the Brawl. That's what they say. So here he can play Kokon Elite and go direct to face. I think it's okay. You don't have to worry too much about the egg here. And that's one of the many situations I've mentioned that lose. Even if the egg did pop there and Nerubian comes out, it's always up to the Kokon Elite to kill off that. It's pretty easy stuff. Now the Kokon Elite is down. And Beefsteak does have 2 spells in hand, but he doesn't have any minion, and that really works in favor for AkisS. AkisS will have space to build tempo, unless he disconnects again.
Yeah, so it's been a day of top decks and RNG.
Oh, Grommash top deck! Wow, I never saw that coming. Okay, so here is Grommash, and again, the onus is on Beefsteak to deal with this nonsense. He doesn't really have a way here. Maybe he top decks a Hex. We don't know. We'll see.
Hex, please.
Does he get a Hex? No, Fire Elemental. Is that enough? With Lava Burst, yes it is. And now that's a 6/5 body on the board, and it's going back and forth so far. Both of them at about 15 health directly, exactly. No discounts whatsoever. And it's top decking and wrecking.
Yep, so AkisS is now looking for answers, trying to deal with a 6/5.
It's gonna Argent Commander and execute here.
Okay, so execute is a very viable option. Is he gonna take it?
I think he should. He cannot afford to take 6 damage right now. He lost 1 big weapon, that's Grommash, and effectively he needs to be very clear. I know using execute on a 6/1 is a huge waste. He should have executed that a long time ago if he had enough mana, but here comes Lightning Storm without even the totem. Oh sorry, with the spell totem, top totem there. And it seems like it's not gonna take out the Frothing Berserker. So Frothing Berserker is at 5/1. And oh my god, he's got no answers whatsoever. He does have Earthring Fussir, but that's only going to heal up to 18.
So Frothing Berserker now up to 5/1, not yet quite removed by Beefsteak. And we're basically in a game of top deck stone right now. He draws into an Argent Commander. That's going to take out the Earthring Farseer and open up more damage for the Frothing Berserker. Here comes Frothing Berserker now. It's 6 damage for Beefsteak. It's going to drop him down to 12. But we do get a Hex. That's a little bit of a breather for Beefsteak. He's going to take that Frothing Berserker, turn him into a frog, and Beefsteak unable to activate his Nerubian Egg, and still a big threat.
Shield block! That's good. Okay, he's going to draw a card with AOP. This is where AOP is big, and here comes Sludge Belcher. Really, you have trouble going past the minions as a Shaman, and this is 2 taunt in 1. He also gets a pretty interesting card, and that's the Cruel Taskmaster. He's also going to deal 6 damage. Oh my god, he's going all in right now.
Wow. Okay, 6 damage off of the Frothing Berserk. I mean, off of the Argent
Well
Commander.
played. And it's the comeback dream. It's true. AkisS comes back 2-1. What more can you ask for?
That is very, very fortunate in the case. He got very lucky with those draws, getting that ton at the right time in the form of the Sludge Belcher, and having enough damage. That was fantastic. So great comeback for AkisS. He's going to go into the 5th round, still undefeated. And yeah, so that is pretty unfortunate for Beefsteak. I would have liked to see that Paladin deck from earlier, to be honest. But yeah, well deserved for AkisS. He got very lucky with those draws. He played really well and used his deck to his advantage. And he is going to go undefeated into the 5th round.
Yeah, it's crazy. So what I'm wondering now is, you know, AkisS, it's okay to get disconnected for one game. You get some good karma points. Maybe if you ask for a remake and you give the remake, you accumulate karma point, and RNGesus from somewhere is probably gonna give you good cards. We don't know, but really that game was very back and forth. I like the last match a lot. There's a lot of hype for that. It's really up to top decking. It's really up to making the right decision to try and edge ahead. It's so close, it could have gone either way. And really, it all started with the brawl there. Brawl changed everything.
You called it out. That's commentator's curse right there. You called it out that the only value that you would not get from a brawl, as a shaman's perspective, is if the egg gets remained, and that egg stayed unhatched towards the end of the game, not doing anything. I think that what the crucial point there was using the Rock Biter on the Acolyte of Pain. I think that's the turnaround play.
Yeah.
If he had silenced that, that's one less card draw he could not have drawn into the Argent Commander towards that end part of the game. He could have used the Rockbiter weapon on the egg to activate it to kill something off. But I honestly think that was a play that cost him the game.
Yeah, I think he should have just, you know, either Earthshock the AOP or try and deal with it. But then he did Earthshock the Frothing Berserker, which was a better play in my opinion. Still, the Rockbiter was a little bit unnecessary. I know you want to try and restrict card draw, but it really, I don't know, it's about weighing priorities there, and clearly your opponent has got more cards than you. You want to try and severely restrict his lead, that's still okay, but it's more towards the brawl. The brawl changed everything. You know, it's something that I think you cannot expect, and commentator's curse, caster's curse, you're right, man. I jinxed it. The egg survived. How can the egg survive? It shouldn't survive. Oh my god, the egg should die. But yeah, we're done with this game here. We're gonna be back again with the next round real soon. And that's it. This is Babael. Join me today is Katips. We're gonna drop cut packs on the stream, and we're not gonna random it anymore, seeing how players got banned from Battle.net for that. I didn't know you can ban that. Battle.net not raffle friendly, but that's it. See you guys in a short while. The next round, by the way, is going to start just about 10 to 15 minutes in between every single round. We do have a slower time as compared to most production because we're running both the tournament as well as the stream, and it's only me and Katips doing everything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it, and let us know how we can improve our cast.